Swiss Family Robinson, Chapter 2 Preparations for Escape. I quickly roused the boys. We all assembled on deck, and then for the first time they saw that we were alone on the ship. "Oh, Papa, where are the sailors and the other passengers? How are we to get to land? Are they gone? Why did they not take us?" exclaimed they. "My children," I said, "though we seem deserted, we must not despair. Let us bestir ourselves and get cheerfully do our best." "The sea is quite calm enough for us to reach the land by swimming," said Fritz. "Swimming is right for you," answered my second son Ernest, "but not for us who can't swim." "Suppose we search the ship and see if anything can be found for a raft," I replied after several plans had been proposed. All dispersed at once in different directions. I descended first to the provision room, where to my great satisfaction I found a good supply of both food and water. My wife and her youngest boy went to visit the animals. Fritz ran to the armory, while Ernest sought for a ship carpenter's tools. As Jack opened the door of the captain's cabin, two large dogs sprang out and bounded upon him so roughly that they threw him down and made such boisterous demonstrations that he thought they were about to devour him. He recovered himself quickly, and seizing the largest dog by the ears, jumped on his back and rode gravely to meet me as I came up the hatchway. One by one, the various explorers returned with their prizes, each bringing what he considered most useful in our position. Fritz brought with him 2 guns, some powder, shot, and bullets. Ernest held in his hand his hat full of nails, and a hammer and hatchet, while from his pocket protruded a pair of pincers. Whilst little Frank, the youngest, carried a packet of fishing hook and lines, with which he seemed much pleased. "As to myself," said my dear wife, "I am the bearer of good news. There are still alive on the ship a cow, a donkey, 2 goats, 6 sheep, a ram, and a sow." "Well done," I said, "but I'm afraid you have brought 2 tremendous eaters, Jack, instead of useful things." "Not at all, Papa," exclaimed Jack. "When we get to land, the dogs will help us to hunt." "No doubt," I replied, "but how are we to get there?" "Easy enough," said Jack. "Can we not sail in tubs, as we used to do on the pond at home?" "A capital idea!" I exclaimed. "Come and let us begin at once, and see what we can find in the hold." We soon found 4 large empty casks, exactly suited to my purpose, and I at once set to work to saw them apart through the middle. After great exertion, we succeeded, and I contemplated with much satisfaction the 8 half-casks ranged in a row on the deck. "I never dare venture in the open sea in one of these," said my wife with a sigh. "Do not alarm yourself so soon, my dear wife," I replied. "My contrivance is not yet finished, and you will find that these tubs are much to be preferred to a shattered wreck, which is a fixture on the rocks." After another search, I got a long flexible plank, and upon this nailed my 8 tubs. 2 other planks were nailed firmly on each side of the tubs, and brought together at the ends, forming a stem and a stern. I thus made a narrow boat, divided into 8 compartments, all strong and well fitted, but, to my dismay, it was so heavy that we were unable to move it even an inch. "Run and bring me one of the captain's bars," I cried. "I must use it as a lever." Fritz went to find one, while I set up to work to saw up a spare into short rollers, which Fritz placed underneath as I lifted the lower part of the boat with the iron bar. I next fashioned a rope to this tub raft with a strong knot, attaching the other end to a beam, and then giving the end a slight push. We had the pleasure of seeing our little craft slide from the deck into the sea. She descended with such velocity that, had I not taken the precautions to securely fasten the rope, she would have been carried far out of our reach. Unfortunately, the boat leaned so much on one side that it would have been dangerous to embark in her. I saw at once what was wanted, and quickly gathered up all the heavy things around me. I threw them in as ballast into the tubs, and the boat gradually righted itself. But something more was required to make her perfectly safe, and I determined to fix two outriggers, similar to those employed by various tribes. I securely fastened two topsail yards, one over the stem and the other across the stern, in such a manner that they would not be in the way when each pushed off our boat from the wreck, and fixed each on the end yard into the bunghole of an empty brandy cask. By this conveyance, the boat was balanced and kept steady during our short voyage, and nothing now remained but to find some oars to use on the morrow. I took the precaution to make my boys fix the empty cans and flasks to their arms as a means of safety should anything happen to the ship, and persuaded my wife to dress herself in the sailor's clothes, as being more convenient for swimming should she be thrown into the water. Though she objected greatly at first, I finally convinced her the safety the dress would prove in case of accident, and she retired to make the change. When she reappeared, I could not help paying her a compliment, for the dress became her admirably. With bright hopes for the morning, we all retired to the berths, and peaceful sleep prepared us for the exertions of the coming day. That's chapter 2, and I'll try to get a picture to help you understand exactly if you didn't quite understand how they're making a boat. But have a great one. Enjoy the day. Work hard, and I'll bring chapter 3 tomorrow. Thank you.